The content on this platform may not align.
Well, a special good night to all of viewers here on Caribbean American News Media Platform. We are on with lots of breaking developments. Please share the platform as soon as you make your way onto it. It is good to be here with you, friends. How was your day, folks? How are you keeping? Yes. Saka Fet, St. Lucie. Yes, what's bothering you? Yes. Please share the live as you come into the platform. Yes, it's Caribbean American News Night. This is where we do it. And this is where you ought to be. Why is me? Yes, man. So share with your enemies, your friends. Yes, man. Tag a hack, tag a friend. Moisia, Nuisia. Well, ma'am, we not playing, Yeah. Tonight is the night. Yes. Yes, man. And you know who we have on with us? Our boss lady, and that is Evita St. Helen. Yes, she's here with us, and it's going to be a night of a night. There is so much happening out there, and so we want to have discussions tonight. And also, we were scheduled for the Honorable Opposition Leader of St. Lucia, Mr. Alan Shastner, to be on with us. However, we wanted to be in sync with the party itself having their let me see, press conference tomorrow to address the very same issue. And so we here at Caribbean American News, we yield after the press conference. Then we will be here with the Honorable Alan Chastney as we continue to enlighten you on some of these developments in the country, especially this new tax proposal by the system. It's by the government, really, but we're going to get into it, and there are lots more. There's murder number 7 in the news. Another young man was shut down. That is number 7. And here at Caribbean American News, what we try to do is to keep the numbers close to our chest here, because sometimes they give you the wrong numbers. They try to mess with those figures, but we want to keep them as close as we can. So a lot is happening here in the country, and we're happy to be here with you to address. And we were just told that there's lots of rain tonight there in St. Lucia. We're going to ask all drivers, those who are getting home at this time, please take your time, be careful. Our roads are not safe. They are death traps, and you want to pay attention to it. All right. So the honorable, and on this platform, honorable, we call each other. This is the Right Honorable Evita. Yes, the Right Honorable Evita is right here with us on this platform. And so we're happy to have you. Evita, you want to just greet your people tonight as I drink, and I'll tell you what I'm drinking shortly.
You gonna make me get more hate. You calling me honorable. Well, I had my cup. Let me tell you, it's a cold, rainy night in St. Lucia, and as much as we giving all the drivers safety, ladies, it's chauffeur. Hey. You know you have to shout out to the ones who going to chauffeur. So I have my cup. I actually have some rosemary tea, fresh rosemary, and the fresh lime leaves in there. So
Okay,
we know we have a virus bug.
while you're talking about what
We have
you're
a bug.
drinking, I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm drinking. One of
Shoot, tell me.
my SLP supporters, who is a Christian, gave me a nice, refreshing drink. Don't tell me I'm
Uh-huh.
drinking red Kool-Aid. I ain't drinking red Kool-Aid, SLP Kool-Aid. But this person went to camp with me, and very good family friend. I consider myself part of their family. And this drink is, I'm telling you, she made it. Whatever she did with it, I want it every day. Ibon. Marca is also, but it have ice in it, and it's not alcohol. I don't drink some rum. Evita, talk to your people, honorable.
You know, our local people just have a way of the love. They just make all kind of little concoctions.
Me
You
don't know where
know,
that come
I
from,
must
but
say,
it go.
we
See,
have a
Ibon, Ibon.
way. Let me tell you, I've tasted so many different types of guava cheese, but oh, it's good. And
Yeah.
you know, especially Junipero all time, and then you
Mm-hmm.
get the fudge. You know, people make tamarind balls a different way, but it's
Mm-hmm.
all good. It's all love. But you know, St. Lucia, of course, we got so many things that are happening in this place. Oh, boss, I got to update you. St. Lucia, let me give it to you. You know, Saturday, I was
Center your camera.
privileged to rub noses with the
Yeah,
EU. Let me
yeah,
center
center.
it
Be in the
simple.
center
There
because
you
we're not seeing
go.
your head. Go up a little more. Up.
Okay. Up.
Yes. Okay, we just got you
Going
good there
up.
a while ago. Folks, bear with us. Let's get the shot. A good
There
shot.
you go.
Let me
Oopsie,
see.
oops.
Yeah, take your
Bear
time. Take your
with me.
time. You take your time. I hope you're not drinking Kool-Aid either.
I ain't
Kool-Aid
drinking
can me
Kool-Aid. I
don't
drink
platate. Just bear with her. She's gonna be back. She's just getting her good. That's
Okay,
a
you
good
can see
shot.
me?
Yeah, man.
There
That's a
you
good.
go.
That's an Irish shot.
Yes, so I was
Yes.
telling you, St. Lucia, there's so many things that are happening. You know, Saturday I was rubbing noses with an EU representative. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And actually, I was using this time, we're talking about the movement, Garfield, and the work that we
Yes.
do. I did put in that good word, so we good. But we're going to talk about that. But, St. Lucia, there's so many things happening. We have murder number 7. I heard recently there's a rapist on the loose up in the Mornier area. I think a young lady was coming home from work,
Hmm.
and this guy, I mean, we and the last time I said it, and it's the climate of crime with the climate for crime. How did we become, a nation like this? Crime is everywhere,
Hmm.
you know, crime is everywhere. But when you make a comparison for such a small little island like us, when everybody knows everybody, how we can't solve crime?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
comes we cannot solve? And I'm saying this to say, look, do we have any crimes that were solved from last year? And we at number 7 already for this
We are
year.
not sure. And this person is from the Grosley area, a young man shot
Mm-hmm.
dead. And that is a report from the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. They are investigating this 7th shooting for the year. All of them firearm related.
What happened? Remember at some point in time there was a gun amnesty?
Yeah. Hmm. Yep, there
Why
was.
haven't, but then again, you see, I kind of understand because let me explain something there. And I
Mm-hmm.
had a conversation, I always go down in the village, I go down in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to some fellas on the block and I asked a question. Now the boss had get vexed, but I told the boss, you have to look at things because you a boss, you an employer.
That's right.
How and we tie it into the combination with the crime factor here. You have a boss in whatever capacity or position he may in, and we're talking of the fact it ties in with corruption here in this country. You have a bunch of boys that's sitting on a block on a daily. Whatever they sell is their business. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, as a boss, if you have your boys washing your car for you when you come around, they do errands for you, why are you paying a basic NIC for them? Because you can list them because he's washing your car when you come around, so he's a car washer.
Yeah.
You can list him, pay a basic NIC because when we have these situations that are going on there in the streets, when them man reach in the hospital, no boss are coming around. The
That's right.
majority of the gunmen are poor in this place, and that's across the board. Majority of gunmen are poor. So when they go into the hospital now, we get in false promises from a boss who shows up, always takes and takes and takes and takes. But what does he give? He gives you the product to sell. But when you take that shot there, he ain't showing up. The least he can do is pay that basic NIC for you as a car wash or whatever
That's
he
right.
wants to call you. So when you take the shot, at least you can get, your basic healthcare needs, you get your meals, and it's an ease of your family.
That's right.
How many people that pull in them triggers for them gunmen can safely say they pay an NIC?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to protect because we can understand how it ties in. Because I believe at this point in time, because I always take the holistic approach. This crime right there is a cry of attention, a cry for help, a cry of frustration.
Wow. 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 And you feel so right?
But let's be look at the people, and then people have they always say we like to look at the physical and look at the people, the caliber of people who are being shot dead.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be realistic here, Garfield. Look at the caliber of people who are being shot up in this place. We're not even looking at the areas because they roam, they go everywhere. Look at the caliber of people who are being shot up.
And not only
You
shut up.
also have to take into account the jurisdiction that those people in and how it ties to the shift on duty with the police force at the time.
But if you look at even road fatalities, through
Mm-hmm.
reckless driving, you see a lot of young men dying on our roads also from reckless driving.
Okay,
So
so who's enforcing the law in terms of drinking and driving, the alcohol limit? You see, we point fingers, but let's be fair. Isn't there an age limit for alcohol in this place? You have 15-year-olds, 12-year-olds,
that's
all
not
age groups
enforced.
going and buy alcohol in bars, you know.
Mhm.
They sell alcohol to anybody.
Wow.
There is no responsibility in that regard, and they always have the taglines when they advertise alcohol and tell you about drink responsibly, but yet still it's not enforced.
Mhm. Wow, wow.
This is, as much as we blame, they like to blame governments. They like, we as a people have to take stock of ourselves and accountability for the contribution we play to what's happening there. You see things and you know things, and at the same time, a lot of things go past and go under the carpet because at the time it's not me, it's not my family, it's not, I don't care
Well, you see,
until it doesn't hit home.
you speak of enforcement also. We got to understand too that for too often our law enforcement or the legal system or law enforcement system in the country have been used as political, a political tool,
Yes,
and
and
therefore
it should not be.
it should not be, and therefore the changes that are necessary, the upgrades
Well,
that are
you know
that are
what's gonna
necessary,
happen?
are limited to
This is
transportation, a van, a building, and we do not do smart policing in the country.
There you go. If crime, like I said, if crime is everywhere, but every time you there's crime everywhere.
Hmm.
When you make a call to one of those precincts and you hear the constant laughing in the background,
Hmm.
the police is, you hear either the police is not there or, my lady, we can't be everywhere.
Well, I'm still
They
waiting
like
on the
to say that.
police. I did a report since
So,
November, still waiting on. Every time I call the police, is not on
hello,
today.
I am one of the owners where the commissioner is, and I was expecting a call back from Friday. Today is Monday. I was
Nothing.
told if I don't get the follow up on Friday, you get on Monday. Today's Monday evening, and nothing. So they have no lack of respect for themselves in between. Because guess what? If you're telling me that one of these officers had reported a sexual harassment situation that made the public air, and they could not even get to the bottom of it, which owe the public a detailed investigation
That's
into how
right.
this matter was handled. Because how they handle it in there is a reflection of what's happening out there. Now we never hear nothing about it again. So which
Went
means what
dead.
happened? It's a reflection.
That's right.
So
Went
if
dead.
their own cannot get justice, how can anybody else get justice in the place?
Yeah. Once you have
And
political
again, I always
interference
tell
too.
people that there you go. You
Mm,
do have good officers
yeah.
who want, let me tell you, there are some officers who are dedicated
Oh
in
yeah.
doing their job
Very
and just
committed.
want the best for their
Yep.
country. There
Yep.
are, I'll be honest with you, there
And there are
are.
some that should
But
not
then
even be
there
a
are the
security
ones,
guard.
there you go.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is that for over a number of years, there was an introduction of a disciplinary committee.
Mm.
How often do you even hear anybody getting some form of resolve on those disciplinary committees? What is, and there again, too, what is the purpose of 70% of our police force being constables? You have people in that police force, 25 years dedicated service that don't
Yeah.
even know what probably inside the commissioner office looks like,
Yeah. There's a
who do
problem with
not
the
get the opportunity to get
promotions.
to go on the trainings. The people that need to go on those trainings are the ones who will implement it, and the ones that always the slackers, they are the ones that get the opportunities to come back and don't put it to use.
Yeah. Well, what can I say? The
But then at the
police
same
is
time, but I put it to you, Mr. Oliver.
yes, honorable.
If now you are an advocate, so I put it to you, which means you see when your regime coming in there, as much as we as
You
a
mean you
people are
always use
saying we
yours too?
want, well, sorry. Yeah.
You
Hello,
want?
I am not a
Hello, honorable.
politician.
You want us to fire you tonight?
No, you can't do
You
that.
know victimization is real, right?
Let I apologize. When our regime comes into play, it has to, as much as the key component of things is always ensuring getting the hospital, which is number one. I believe our frontline road workers this time around need to get the priority,
Yeah,
not
me
just the
too.
nurses, but our officers
We got to
and
respect the
our
policemen.
firemen too.
Yes, those. Yes, that's right. We got to
We
respect them,
need to
and
stop it out. Let me tell you, there's some people in there that have heavy hearts. Now, when you have heavy hearts that tying into what going on in the work environment, and you in a work environment that does not allow you to grow,
hmm
that does not allow you to express yourself in terms of saying, hey, you did something wrong. An environment where there's no accountability. So
that's
we
right.
have morale going down
Mm,
because they're human just like me and you. And they are the ones that face it even tougher than us because when you have the corrupt politician who are basically dangling the carrot, telling this man, oh, you want your job, or they make all kind of threats, and
that's
then
right.
guess what? Domino effect. They come around into the communities, or maybe when they're dealing with people, and pass that frustration.
Yep.
And at
And
the same time, we on the outside could say, "Oh, you having a bad day, or whatnot." But there is a different type of pressure on that end. I am not saying that it's right for them to, disregard people and stuff. But let's be clear, they too, they are under a tremendous amount of pressure.
and I agree. I
Now, what
totally
I
agree
want
with
to
you.
ask you,
Let's.
Basil,
Mhm.
if you made a statement just there, a point there surrounding about the policing and in terms of the patrol and everything, we have them khaki officers. What are their purpose apart from sitting there with them big bellies behind them desks? Because to me, they can patrol too every once in a while.
Some of them really obese. They can't run for long. They get had trouble. And much they can do but push papers, and still they ain't pushing the right papers. But um, but anyway, we'll get back to that. We have a developing situation here with the new tax proposal overhaul
Okay.
there in St. Lucia.
No, I
We
ain't good with
saw.
numbers there, but
I
let's
know
go.
that's again, but we're not going to deal with numbers. We're going to deal with our politicians and their attempt
Hmm.
to bamboozle the Seville of St. Lucian people, to play with the minds of our citizens, just like they play with
Hmm.
the police force. They believe that everything in the country, all institutions are their toys, so that they can play around with when they want. And this, I think it's last week, we came across one of the prime minister's press statement on the proposed um, bill in St. Lucia. And what we gather from him, the prime minister, is that he seems most of the times not to know what is happening in the country. And whether it's with the police, and like I said earlier today, I am not sure who is advising the prime minister, but I would recommend that whoever is advising this man should be fired, should be removed from any government position, because for you to have the Prime
Correct.
Minister of St. Lucia going out all the time and telling the St. Lucian people, I don't know, it's Chasney's fault, it's not my fault, it's Chasney's fault. And for three
Imagine that.
years, everything he touches is Chasney's fault. So he said, right, that he's not aware of the proposal, the new tax proposal. He said, I don't know about it. I've not seen it. I don't know about it.
Let me just ask you, so where was this released from?
Well,
That
from
tax proposal, where was that released on the news?
Inland Revenue Department, right?
Hey,
So
from their own government office?
from his own government institution, so he don't know. So he
I
said to the St.
shouldn't be
Lucians,
laughing at
I
that.
don't know.
Sorry.
It is Chasney's fault. I have never. It's Chasney who started it, and I have never seen it. I don't know what you all are talking about. I don't know. I never did. And then he said something to the effect that, but it's brilliant. It's a brilliant. I mean, the bill is brilliant, and you know what? Let's go to the clip and let the Prime Minister speak for himself. Then we have the Castries City Council again trying to
Are
clean
you
up.
giving me one of those allergic reactions again?
We have the city council and the vendors in Castries, and I have some words for them,
Yes.
some choice words for the vendors in the Castries market. So let's take it piece by piece, and then we have KKRR,
Sure.
swinging like a baboon on every pole and all over the place.
Let me tell you, I did an interview, and of course, and I say this, it again, people lose credibility when they tend to cross that line of not of the
Well,
boundaries of lack of
yeah,
respect, right? I went and I did that interview, and I indicated to this man before we started, I'm not a politician. Your first question was politics, and okay, I can handle myself. But then you took a picture of me with some frontline workers, and these were the firemen in Grosley. I had done an outing with some of the kids, I did the outreach. And
yeah,
you put that there and talking about our prime minister cares with this face,
yeah. He's just slick. It's just a
first of
slick
all.
dude. It's just a slick dude,
But
and
what
he
I'm
will.
saying is, look at this, right? Forget about me here.
Yeah,
The officers, the frontline workers in that photo there, you compromise these people.
yes, he did. Well, anything for attention, but we'll go back to him. All right. Let's go in order now. Let's go to the
Go ahead.
taxes. Let's deal with the taxes, and then we
Hmm.
will. We tonight is going to be a packed night. There's a lot of work tonight, so we're going to swing. We're not going to swing
Okay.
like KKRR. We're going to swing
Touching up. Okay.
like honorable people.
Okay. I get you, Sergeant. I get you.
I know. Anyway, let's go now to the Prime Minister of St. Lucia,
Yes,
folks.
go ahead.
If this, as it is, or maybe a few changes are done, and this goes through the final process where it's drafted finally as for legislation to be passed in Parliament, it will then be brought to your attention, I guess, then. And this finally goes through, it means you're in agreement with what the former Prime Minister initiated.
When I see the draft, I'm in agreement with what he initiated. Of course, I'm in agreement with it. I'm in agreement with it. It's a good idea. It's a very good idea. Of course, because how you can have 12 pieces of legislation for taxes in this country? Investors are confused. Everybody's confused. You got to go for income tax, this and that, house tax, property tax, VAT tax. You put all of it in one bill. That's a brilliant idea.
But it's a bit inconsiderate.
So here we have a reporter that got more confused by the Prime Minister. Let's go back over to that press conference, okay? Let's go over to that press conference
Yeah.
again, the full press conference.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the press. Thank you for joining me today as we address concerns circulating regarding the Draft Tax Administration and Procedure Act that has garnered attention. It is imperative that we always provide accurate information to the St. Lucian public to dispel any misconceptions. First and foremost, I want to make it clear that the draft bill in circulation was initiated during the term of the United Workers' Party administration, as evidenced by Cabinet Conclusion number 1511 of 2020. The Cabinet Conclusion reads, and I quote, Cabinet.
Don't you hate it when a flashlight isn't a lightsaber? This is the light.
Oh, just bear with us, folks. Those are ads that are
A quick
flipping in.
thing I want to
Go
draw
ahead.
Dated
thing
30.
there.
Sorry, but go ahead.
Before you go there, first and foremost, you know what we need to stop doing? And I noticed this current corporate St. Lucia does. They deflect. They deflect a lot. If we already know the United Workers' Party is not in the current corporate St. Lucia, not in admin. We know that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Number one, I say Shasnidas get blamed for things that was before his regime because of his time frame that was
That's right.
there.
That's right.
You have to be careful how you holding one man accountable for the mistakes of a collective. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it automatically eliminates him, because when you inherit things, you inherit in everything. But we have to be realistic here. Now, if you're going to say to yourself that, okay, the UWP faltered, every single press conference now has turned into like a political rally. You are not discussing what it is we need to know. Why would you be bringing up about the United? You're not even supposed to be mentioning United Workers Party in your speeches. Talk about what it is. You draw a comparison. If you draw it from the year, draw it from the year. Because we have to also understand, St. Lucia. Alan Shastney may have been the prime minister, but let's be honest, there are people that fall in the categories that are responsible for certain implementations in this place. We also have to look at their political affiliation too in ensuring information is brought out correctly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Well
the
said.
documents have to be, the prime minister does not prepare all the documents himself.
And the prime
He
minister don't
comes
draft
based on
bills.
what
Yeah.
he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Now he comes there, look like he's crammed for a CXC exam. Look at the tie. It's not even, me, I just scrutinize them things.
Yeah.
He came all hyped up, but then at the point in time, his whole energy level dropped,
Because
which
what
means,
sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah, but sorry to interrupt, but what I see him what he's trying to attempt here is to, because of the concerns of the citizens, both SLP and UWP independent voters, he's just being political. He's trying to blame Shastney for what
He
he
is
considers to be a
wrong to
good
do
bill,
that.
what he considers to be a good draft, brilliant idea, but then he's trying to say it's not me. It's Alan Shastney who did the bill. It's not me. I don't know it. I've never
Here's a
seen it.
question on behalf of the people. When are we going to get that allergy remedy that we need in this nation? Because right now it's like a top spinning in mud. You know that a lot of people have no incline to even listen anymore.
Yeah.
Because you played a clip, then what are we supposed to derive from this really?
Well,
Because
everybody
let's
left
be fair,
confused.
I saw a bulletin that came out surrounding a tax, something surrounding the tax that indicated that if the tax is not paid, that the government reserves the right to seize
To
people's
seize
passports and
your
properties.
asset and property. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. How is it that the average poor man have to be responsible for them employers and them conglomerates that not paying the NIC and taxes for them?
Well, remember it's a
No,
proposal.
because we need to know, because unless he needs to come back and be very specific, because that statement there is construed as if Peter go pay for Paul.
Yeah,
There
it's
are women who have gone to give birth at the hospital, right? Who have documented salary slips that show NICs being deducted, and when the time comes, they're being slapped for hospital bill, cannot get the grant because their employer not paying the NIC for them. So how we not even tackling that, and you already want to impose more tax, and you want to penalize our people for the person who's responsible for the tax? Because the average man, let's be honest, who walks into a tax office and pays tax? And with all your taxes, how is it that some people, let me tell you, I have tax returns from since 19 or not. I don't think I'll ever get paid for that, sir.
right. But you see the problem. The problem here is the prime minister saying that he don't know anything about it. One after 3 years, right? But
Do you believe that?
but listen, he is seeking a loan of $40 million to help with the necessary changes at the Inland Revenue Department so that they would be able to collect the revenues that are owed. So they're borrowing 40 million, but yet he is borrowing 40 million to fix the Inland Revenue Department because he considers it to be broken, right? They're not
He's not
enforcing the
fixing it.
law.
He's compounding the problem.
So I'm
He's
saying, what?
compounding the problem.
So how are you borrowing 40 million? Now, you would have known that there is some proposal, a draft proposal for changes in the Inland Revenue Department, but you are borrowing 40 million and you are saying to St. Lucians that I don't have the proposal, I never see it. But if you never see it, what are you borrowing $40 million for?
There you go. There you go. You see how he contradicting himself. And with all of that fixing he do in St. Lucia, he want to fix by borrowing. So why he not fixing and sticking to his word when he said that if there is any corruption signs within anybody in that public office, why he not make it? That is where he has to start fixing the problem.
Let's go back to him, right? And let
But then
him.
again, at the same time too, I'm looking at this man there right now. I'm looking at a deflated man.
Yeah.
But let me be honest with you, as much as I may have gone through and as much as we go, that man there is under pressure. And let me tell you the pressure made under right now there. That man, I believe, from the way I see it, has resigned himself already. Because the pressure he dealing with of the corrupt within there, he doesn't even know how to fix the problem.
It's bigger than
He's
him.
become like a puppet on a string.
You see, he might have gone in hoping to make a difference, to be a good prime minister,
I believe so.
but he's
I believe so.
right. So he surrounded himself with some
With the wrong people.
with the wrong people that are not in for the
He has.
development of the country, and that's why we saw all
There
the
you go.
hadikasi in the house, all the nastiness in the different departments of government in St. Lucia, from the passport office to the police and the legal system. We see the corruption in the whole system itself, and nothing is being done about it. Let's go to the Prime Minister of St. Lucia again.
Submitted by the Department of Finance and approved the request for creation of the Tax Administrative Procedures Act to harmonize the administrative, collections, and penal provisions of the various pieces of legislation that are currently administered by the Inland Revenue Department. The aforementioned is for your attention and necessary action. Can I read that again?
No, don't read it again.
No, he
because
shouldn't read it. He's supposed to
there's no
expound
need.
on what he just
Right,
read.
right. Don't read anything for us again, because what you're trying to
He
do
himself
is to
doesn't
just say,
understand what he just read.
right. What he's trying to do is to just say, it's Shastney, not me, and I don't know about it.
He's
And
just passing the blame right now.
I want to say something to the
That's all he's
reporters.
doing.
Evita,
Mm-hmm.
I want to say something. I am seeing a shift and I'm seeing improvements in our journalism in St. Lucia. I'm seeing the press engaging even more and keeping his hands to the fire. And
But even the very press who were persuaded to go against the Alan Shastney regime and not report, even they right now are starting to realize the mistakes that they made, because let's be fair, they have manipulated the way in terms of the way the press puts things out into the media.
yes,
And they've manipulated it to the point it has always downplayed the work of what the United Workers' Party has done, you know.
that's right. That's right. Because all
And
the work
then
that the United
now,
Workers' Party has did in the past, they labeled it corruption and and illegal and all the stuff that they but let's go
look at
back,
the
right?
roundabout.
Go ahead.
Look at before you play that
Go
clip,
ahead.
look at our road work on the highway there, the Grosley Highway of Rodney Bay.
How is that going?
That was under the United Workers. The work has stopped from the time they came into power. What was the purpose of the road stopping? Here it is again. You're not supposed to be coming and playing politics with the people like that. Because the road works is not only for United Workers' Party supporters and delegates to drive on, it is
That's
for
right.
us as a people. We
Yeah.
are a tourist destination. You are telling me this is where we thrive. That part of the island there is one of our biggest income earners in terms of the tourism sector. Why would you stop a project like this? Look at how many people's lives got affected. People just
Mm-hmm.
up, don't know when what was happening. No work, people have lives. You know how many people got set back? Contractors were affected by it, you know.
Yep. Yep. Wow. Wow. Wow.
The
Wow.
road is still, let me tell you, the roundabout area where they were designating just by Kilago side there, that pizza place there by the aquatic center, grass has taken over to some extent. And let's be fair, St. Lucia, it is okay if a project was started under another regime to be completed by another. And you know what? If the SLP had stuck and finished that road and that hospital, I can guarantee you they would have been applauded and respected even more by the people.
And I mean, most of these major infrastructure got interrupted because during the campaign, they considered that it
Yeah,
was Stevenson King said he didn't know there's corruption, and everybody was blaming and
to
accusing
the man who
the
crossed over to the
administration
dark
of
side.
corruption on all the projects. And all these projects are
Mm-hmm.
major infrastructure that really need the development, need
So
you know
let's
to be
ask a question.
uh-huh.
Let me ask you, with that said, I think this is a key question that
Talk to
somebody
me.
could pose to the Prime Minister and current corporate St. Lucia.
Mhm.
Considering that whatever reason they may have gave and have stopped the work, where is that money and allocations that was set in there? Where is it? And if so be the case that it has not, since the work has stopped, where is the rest of the money that was allocated for the completion of the project? And if it is still there, why not complete the project? And if it's not there, the people of St. Lucia need a proper accountability as to where it is. Because
Because
guess what? The work has stopped,
these are
which
projects that
means
they
that
met
the
with,
entire amount, there you go.
they were
The
already
budget was
financing
not
available for
fully
these projects.
fulfilled.
Yeah, you
So
know.
if it's not fulfilled, which means there is money left over, if it is not used, why are you not finish the project?
Well, it depends on when
Finish
it
it.
comes to the finance. It depends on the agencies that are financing these projects. You know, I'm sure they would pay out based on the by phase the projects, whether it's the World Bank or whoever it
Okay.
is.
Which, but guess what? He came into power and it stopped. He owes us an explanation to know what was the mandate for completion, where we were at when they took over, and why it has stopped.
I think the
We need
problem,
to know.
Evita, the problem with Grozile too, is that when the SLP government said to the St. Lucians in order to win the elections that Alan Chastney and Guy Joseph did some illegal stuff on that project in where they build a roundabout because Alan Chastney's father had a property in the area. Then we find out, hold a minute, then we find out that Alan Chastney's father donated the property to the government of St. Lucia free of charge, gave it to them. But no,
And
they
they
are
are
not
talking
saying
about
that to the St. Lucian people. So they thought they were corruption because it appeared as though Alan Chastney's father was benefiting from
Mhm.
the road works.
You see, they spin the narrative there to
That's right.
suit themselves. So then at the same time, okay, because I'm sure they must have publicly on platforms and all different areas, must have said it. So if that has been clarified, why not tell the people these things?
Tell the people the truth.
Why continue to let the people spread? You see how then it is again. It
Mm-hmm.
is not a reflection, it's a reflection of them, because
Of
it's
them, yeah.
okay to admit you've made a mistake. And this is something again now which has, and that can tarnish people's character,
It
because
can.
you
It
know how
has.
the psyche of our Lucians are already. When they hear something like that, already our people are figuring that things are so tough to hear. So come and clarify it so that people can understand, but they're more afraid of the backlash
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
instead of doing the right thing and gaining more respect for coming up front and say, hey, I made a mistake. They rather compound the problem, support the rumors, and then guess what? More
But
backlash.
Evita, what I heard is that I think either the Grosile project or one of those projects that these guys stopped for investigations, they got to pay the contractor millions of dollars without the contractor doing any work because they violate the contract. And guess what? Now, apart from paying the contractor the millions of dollars, they got to look for money now to finish the project. So in other words, you're paying
Well,
twice for one project.
there you go.
All
Where he
because
paying for his stupidity.
you want to spite one man.
Imagine that. And you have solutions paying for your stupidity. You're not running this, and these people have to understand it's like they're running the country off of it's like they sit around this table and they're playing a game of Monopoly. Let's roll the die. Let me see whose property we tackle it. You roll the dice to
By
go
the way,
around the
you see
board.
when you went back on your chair, we had a beautiful shot of you. What, you're trying to hide your nice hair? That's a beautiful
The hair,
shot.
let me tell you,
Mhm.
my hair has not combed Garfield in a while.
Okay, so just go back so we can see you properly. But let's go back, right? And I like where
Okay.
I like where we are in the
This
discussion.
is good.
Yes, beautiful. If you move from there, we'll fire you tonight. Anyway, let's go. It's beautiful. Let's go over to the clip. Let's go over to the clip.
Dated December 3rd, 2020, from the Ministry of Finance, Economic Growth, Job Creation, External Affairs, and the Public Service, headed by the former Prime Minister, states, the Department of Finance wishes to inform that by Cabinet Conclusion number 1511 of 2020, considered a memorandum dated 14th November 2020, submitted by the Department of Finance, and approved the request for creation of the Tax Administration for creation of the Tax Administrative Procedures Act to harmonize the administrative, collections, and penal provisions of the various pieces of legislation that are currently administered by the Inland Revenue Department. The aforementioned is for your attention and necessary action. It is clear that the instructions for preparation of the draft bill came from the former Prime Minister.
So let's just.
Oh, I want to ask you something here because let me ask you something here.
Okay.
And I'm saying this, Sanusha. I mean, by now a lot of people have known which side I've decided to stand with, but as I ask him as a citizen here, at this point in time, I'm sure he would have probably made reference to this a year or two ago, the third year in office, and what is the purpose of explaining this? When I say explaining, what is the purpose of reading this statement? Because if you came with what it is you proposing, tell me what you're proposing and make the comparison to what Alan, if he's saying it's under Alan Chasney, what was proposed then. And tell me what your proposal is so that we as a people can see that this is why it is working. And then you tell me, well, guess what? Under the Alan Chasney regime, XYZ was the case. But you just basically regurgitating this man's work. You have not offered any substantial information to tell us where we are going with. We're still confused. He still has not offered a solution to what it is that we seek. He's just running around people's minds in circles.
That's right.
Because guess what? He does not have the answer. And which means if he can go back to 2020 in documentation under the Alan Chasney regime, who's to say he's not going back in documentation under there with recommendations and want to come and try and put it out as their own this year?
Well, based on what the government is saying to us now, that everything was done under Alan Chasney, even the growth in the economy, the GDP, and everything else that they want to take credit for. As a matter of fact, the SLP government wanted to take credit the same year they got into power for the work that Alan Chasney did before he was voted out. And so they say, yes, look at the country. The country is developing. It is growing. Look at how beautiful it is. And so they embrace all the goodies that they inherit during Alan Chasney's administration. But this one it is too bitter. He don't want to touch it. Now remember, under Alan Chasney, he just authorized the agency to start drafting bills so that we can organize the Inland Revenue Department, modernize it, and equip them that they can, make things a little more simpler. So everybody, Tutmunsa Kopwan, what is going on there with the tax code and
I think
everything
what
else.
we can do surrounding this issue, I
Mm.
think, and then I like to be fair because Pojab, the PM, he looking like. Let me tell you something. I feeling for Damon. And
No,
Damon
honestly,
look
I
like
pray for
he
him every
can't
day.
deal. He cannot deal. And I think he's flustered. He's fed up of his own. He's fed up. He's going through the motions because it's his job.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not going through the motion, and you can say this is somebody because he's not giving us answers. And you see, somebody can sit at home and listen to the speech like that and will take it at surface value and just what he quoted there. But notice he said, let me read that again for you. You don't read it again for us. You break it down into
He
layman's
break it.
language for us to
He
understand what you
Do you
just
know he
read,
wanted
which
to
means
read
you
this thing like
yourself did not
3-4
understand what
times?
you just read.
He wanted to
There
read it
you go.
3-4 times.
Which means he was still at that point trying to
That's right.
understand, which means another thing too, he probably did not get wind of that speech, probably not until minutes or hours before, because let's be clear, as a speaker, if you accustomed to addressing and doing impromptu
Mm-hmm.
speaking, let me tell you something. When you're reading something, like they always tell you in school, when you get in the mathematics problem, you read once. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You read it a second time to familiarize yourself, and by the third time, you're supposed to be able to answer the question, which is exactly what he did there, which means he was not even familiarized with what was in front of
No.
him.
I think what happened too is
So that there did not explain nothing to us, really.
what happened is that the Labour Party, some of the Labour Party supporters are saying to the government, look, you have bad PR. You're not out there explaining things. And the United
No.
Workers' Party, they're pushing you guys, they're behind you guys, and they're putting pressure, and you're not responding to the pressure. So when the United Workers' Party put out the draft and put out a statement saying that we do not support the draft, then the government had no choice but to come in defense and say, hold a minute, it is not us. So you don't talk to us about the taxes now. It's not us, it's them. Basically, that's what they were doing, which he was not properly advised. Nobody told him, sir, you are the prime minister. The Inland Revenue
But then
Department is under your
guess
care.
what? Guess what, eh? You could imagine how many people are in this man's ears pushing their agenda through this man right now.
So
Senusha,
sorry.
I like to be fair.
So
I like
sorry.
to be fair,
Yeah.
Senusha. You could imagine how many people are pushing their agendas on this man, using this man to push their agendas, which is why everything is so distorted. Let me tell you something, Garfield. You have people who've told me point blank they don't even waste their time to listen to the local news anymore.
I don't listen to some of them anymore. I
Because
don't.
they said you getting the same thing over and over. And that speech there, if you cannot explain to us based on what you've read, which is also a reflection of you. Let's forget about the fact somebody may have wrote his speeches. Let's be honest, presidents have people write their speeches.
Yes, they do.
But if you're going to come and present something critical like this to our people that affects their pockets, their daily lives, it affects us all. How are you telling me you reading it a further second, you want to read it 4 times, and which means you don't even understand what you're reading?
Don't.
What are you there for?
Let's go back,
No, but
right?
Garfield, let me tell you that situation with that tax thing there. In order for us to make a very fair comparison, I think it's only fair we listen to Shas's PR, his press release tomorrow.
And that's what I was. That's
It
why
gives
we
him the
yield.
yes,
That's why we
it
yielded.
gives him the chance to give his
That's
rebuttal
right.
on what it is
That's
That was
right.
said. Which St. Lucia, and I'm saying this, St. Lucia, it's not like we're not dodging the question because I know y'all are looking to see how maybe we see it to draw a fair perspective, but we have to hear Shas's rebuttal first. And I'm telling you this because I cannot get the gist of what this man Garfield, I'm being honest with you. I am not getting what he's trying to say because he's not
I'm
even
not.
getting what he's reading out there.
No, no.
Maybe you can dissect it a bit better
But
for
let's
us.
right. But let's listen to it a little more, and then callers. The lines are open at 929-586-1821. Our telephone lines are open. You can call at any time, and you're here with our honorable Evita and his most excellency.
I like that.
listen.
I
I know.
like that. I'm gonna make a note of that.
Absolutely no
I'll see you.
input in that bill.
You better.
My
Let's
cabinet
listen.
has not seen that bill. That bill is being circulated with our position on transparency and accountability. And
So
it's being,
hold. So he's saying that
Say
his
that
people
again.
have not. Wait,
Oh,
oh, stop. You. He said his people have not seen.
sorry.
Hold. Let's have a moment.
I'm sorry. Sorry, that was just a natural. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be.
You
I feel I
no.
should not be
It's
laughing
good.
at
It's
this.
okay because
But
we gotta laugh. We gotta laugh in order for us to keep our face young and nice. Guess what? The Prime Minister said that my people have not seen it, and that's why we're circulating it. That's why it's being circulated. So they're circulating something that they don't know about.
let me tell you, you remember the clip of the PM eating them cheese sticks?
I think you need to go back to the cheese sticks.
The content on this platform may
Yes.
not,
I think so. I really think so. But let's go back again
I'm
because
sorry.
I
Yes.
had to take a break
Let
in
me not.
listening.
I'm not gonna laugh. Let's
If
go.
you need to laugh, ask me for a break. Let's go, princess.
Let's
public
go.
discussion. It has not come to cabinet. It has not been approved. And it's not our creation. It's the creation of the former government.
Okay. But anyway, let's go back.
Why
Let's
was it
let's
not
let him
Thank you very
let him
much.
go.
We will email you the statement at the end. The statement. We email it. We email it to you. Yes. Questions.
So you said, I just want to make something clear. The bill that is being circulated, who gave the authorization for it?
I just read.
You're saying
That is the circulation is for public discussion by the technocrats, the technical people. Before it comes, you go and give it to the public. The same we did for several other bills.
this
So in other words,
in 2020,
they,
your
Yes.
administration.
so
He's
his
agitated.
government agency is circulating something. He has no idea what it's about.
No idea. And
And
he's
I understand how
agitated, you know.
technical he is. He's saying, look, it has not officially been handed to me for review. Fine, we understand
So,
that.
okay, so is it safe to say that if he's publicly making those statements, so how you is the boss and you have no idea what's going on underneath you there? Then they have a problem, then you are the boss. So then we guess what? Maybe he needs to step aside and let us see who's the real boss that running the country right now.
We have a call coming in,
Because you
boss.
can't go ahead.
Calling you on the air, Caribbean American News Media.
Good evening.
Good evening. You're on the air
Good evening
with
to
the
your guest.
Honorable Evita and His Most Excellency.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening, my friend.
Gospel, you remember the story of the Panama account?
Yes, very clear.
We just throw it out there for speculation.
That's right.
Remember that?
I remember clearly. Evita, you remember?
No, I was just, could you just explain, what exactly are we talking about? I just explain to me a little bit, please.
The Panama account that Philip Pierre came out and they were in the house saying that there is an account by Guy Joseph, and some monies were put into there, and a whole hooray. And the Prime Minister made an appearance on Stanley Lucian's show. And Stanley posed a question to him, and he told him, a question of that magnitude. Why would he open his mouth and put it out there if he doesn't have the accurate answers for the public?
True.
And he said he just put it out there for speculation.
He said that publicly?
Right? So Philip Pierre, yes, he did. Philip Pierre knows exactly what he is doing. Philip Pierre took that thing out. He saw it. All of them saw it. All of them knew what they were doing. They put it out there, and when they realized what they did, boom, they jammed. That is just it.
So let me ask you, caller, subsequent, because I was not too familiar with that. When they put it out and all of this, whatever happened after that?
What happened out of that? The Panama account was none and void.
Yes, she's right.
Nothing came out of it.
Wow.
No explanation.
When
Nobody
did that
came back
happen?
to say we made a mistake.
When did this happen?
Go ahead.
Sometime last year, November, around that time there, October, November.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. And then they started saying volley.
And then they never said anything. Nothing came on the air after this.
Nothing came on because remember, these people do things and they don't watch what they are doing. They try to score political points, but that will not work with the genius that we have there. The guy with the wisdom, the guy with the truth, the Right Honorable Alan Shasley. This kind of dirty politics will not pass with him. He's there to educate the people as to what is politics, not what is garbage. And
so
right
let me ask you a question.
Philip Pierre now is in a jam again.
Oh yes, definitely. But I want to ask you a question,
everybody
caller.
is in for you now.
Yeah, very same situation. He said he did not see, he don't know, he have no idea. But there is an account in Panama, and he just put it out there for people to speculate about it. And here we see the same thing where he's saying, I never saw the bill, I don't know nothing about it, it's not me, it's Alan Shasley. By the way, but it's good, it's a good bill.
Press
but how he cannot do, and he's using
to the people. You're saying to the people that you didn't see it, your members didn't see it. So who released it?
Well, it came from somewhere. And I'm saying if it so be the case and he was under speculation,
Inland Revenue didn't release anything if you did not give them the okay.
So like I said, so caller, let me ask you a question there. If it so be the case, and this is because this is the second situation with it's like a throw the rock and hide the hand. So at this point, what do you think that we as a people should be requesting for him to come and clarify? Because if he has to come and clarify, he have a lot to clarify. And I'm saying this, caller, because it's interesting. What would you recommend as somebody who has, because you sound like somebody who's keeping up with, current situations. What is your recommendation at this time?
My recommendation for Philip Pierre, he should resign.
Mm-hmm.
He should resign because the more he tries, the more he pushes, he makes himself like an idiot.
And usher him out. Take his microphone and usher him out.
I see where you're coming from. So let me ask
It
you
doesn't
again,
make sense.
caller.
Every
So let me
time
ask
this
you
man
again,
opens
caller.
his mouth is a problem.
Now, we have not had any type of, and I was just listening to the clip, the accountability issue is there.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, my lady. If because we're looking at both sides of the coin, with the way things are going, and of course, the United Workers' Party is taking considerable consideration into the concerns of the people. If, when Alan Chasney comes in and assumes this role, what would how would you what do you think this Panama account should be revisited? Is there anything, do you think, that he owes the people to speak on it? Or do you think that, considering that Philip J. Pierre's response, that the people should be satisfied with that?
Well,
Because we want
there is
Listen
nothing
to
for him
me.
to clarify
Listen to me.
because, he needs to
okay.
just come to the people
Mr.
and say that.
Chasney has clarified that
That's right.
problem.
He did. Yeah.
There is
Okay, he
nothing
did.
there.
Yeah. But
Okay,
the prime minister.
There is nothing there. There was
then he
nothing
owes
there.
the man an
The people put
apology.
Taiwan in a hot water. The Taiwanese embassy or the country, whatever it is, had to come out, put a statement out. There was nothing there.
Yes. They said everything was
They
done
put the
above
country
board.
in hot water. Our
Yeah.
diplomatic ties with Taiwan, they put it in hot water. Just to score political points. Nonsense. Kenny Anthony was part of it. Because he was the one who stood up in the House of Parliament to spray the garbage. The dirty
Now that's
politics that these
defamation of
people have been
character,
playing will not work in 2024 and beyond. It will not work. God has shined his light on the lying tongues by using Mr. Chasney to bring out the real truth to the people. It will not work. St. Lucians right now, the truth is staring at y'all in your face, and y'all are sitting down and not doing anything about it.
You are very correct. You are very correct. You see what you just
They
said
don't
there,
need
my
to
lady?
see
You are very
anything
correct.
else. St. Lucians don't need anything else more to see. Okay? If they're trying to help Philip Pierre protect the victory while they sting the damn country and put us through poverty, that is what it is. But they have nothing else left that they need to see from Philip Pierre. It's all in the open.
So I want to ask you,
Every time
caller,
this
are
man
you
open
aware?
his mouth is a problem. Just like that tax thing he's talking about, they say it was from the former administration. Yes, probably they drafted it, but did they pass it? No, they did not
It
pass it.
wasn't passed.
And the
No.
reason why, hold on a while, Mr. Chasney know exactly what he was about. Because if you have a bill like that, you don't pass it when the people are struggling. You pass it
There
when
you
your
go.
economy is robust.
But there was no bill
Thank
there was
you,
no
my
bill.
lady.
Alan Chasney just gave the green light to put something in place.
Exactly.
So his
That's
administration,
it. And
his
it's the same thing they did.
administration would not have seen any bill because he had just given the authorization to go ahead and propose something.
Exactly.
And he's spinning this. He's
Garfield.
coming on air and spinning this, and you see that, and how it's coming out as if it was something that was done. And that is what they need to stop. And you see, that is the manipulation that has the people the way it is right now.
Yeah,
They are not, they're spinning it that, a one word can change the entire meaning of a sentence.
that's right.
So, my lady, before
Garfield.
you go, because
Yes, my friend.
I want to ask you a question, my lady, before you go. Are you
Hold
aware?
on a minute,
Mm-hmm.
Just hold on a minute.
Go ahead.
Garfield, there's a
Okay.
pattern of behavior with the Labour Party. when the VAT came out, it was UWP who drove that thing, that VAT business, right?
Yeah.
But they never implemented it. They didn't give them a chance because if it was UWP who had implemented that VAT, we are not saying that the country doesn't need the taxes. We don't have to pay tax, but it wouldn't have been as high as what Labour Party put it there.
But Alison,
then again they came out with the after the VAT came, it was UWP who drafted. Labour implement. They're implementing things, just rush it and rush it. They don't think, these people. They came with the passports again. What did he say? It was Alan Chasney who did it. But what did Alan Chasney told us? What did Mr. Chasney told us about the passport? Yes, they were thinking of raising it, but putting an extension of 5 years again on it, it would be 10 years. For the court. Did Labour do that? No, they just raise it and they leave it at 5 years on our back.
And then 5 years later they blame, or 10 years later they blame Alan Chasney, the UWP government.
Exactly.
So they implement it and blame.
They don't know what they're about. It's just chaotic in their camp.
Yeah.
What do you see, Paula? Let me ask you a question. From what you've, because you have quite a bit of knowledge here, what do you think 2024 will look like for us as a people?
Good question.
Mess if the people doesn't rise up. Worse.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they don't rise up, if they don't speak up, especially those entities that are supposed to safeguard our country that is not speaking, like the National Trust, all these associations, Chamber of Commerce, all these people need to stand up and speak up to save the country.
This government,
help the people, help the poor people breathe.
Yeah, this government is acting like a lame duck government. That's all I can say. Evita?
I was just about to say, with these sectors, all of these, as much as they're supposed to be transferred, there is always this political thing that sways the decision sometimes in doing what it is that they're supposed to do for the people. Now, one thing I wanted to...
We have another call coming
in.
I am Gaffel. Somebody's trying to get through, so I'm going to hang up.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Alison. Thanks for calling.
You.
Very important call. Yes. So, Evita, you want to say something before the other call comes? Yeah,
I was just about to ask her that, she was indicating about St. Lucians, that we need to stand up and take a stand. Of course, these sectors, like she mentioned, the Chamber of Commerce, of course, there is some political motivation surrounding, decisions and why, people are tight-lipped. If you notice, a lot of people are very tight-lipped in terms of speaking on issues surrounding the country. It's not like what it used to be before, and it's noticeable across the board.
It is. Caller, you're on the Caribbean American News Media. Sorry.
Go ahead, caller.
Yes.
Let them go ahead.
Good evening, Pastor Garfield.
Yes, our line is getting a little busy, so we'll go ahead.
Co-host.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening.
We have a little bit of echo there, Brother Garfield.
Yes, go ahead. It's clear now.
Yeah. So, man, my brother, I am honestly, I'm looking at my TV sometimes, and I swear I went to a circus, and I have clowns entertaining me.
Hold on a minute. Evita, you can hear? You can hear him?
I'm hearing him. He said that he swear he's at a circus and clowns are entertaining.
Can you
hear me?
Yes, we can hear. Did you hear Evita a while ago?
Yes.
Go ahead, caller. You're on the air. Go
ahead.
Yeah. So I was saying, like, it's like me sitting at home, and like watching a circus, with this government, Brother Garfield. Is a bunch of clowns we have there. You see, the problem we have right now with this the echo is back again, Brother.
Go ahead. I'm fixing it. Go ahead. We're fixing it. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, and so he's trying to justify something to tell us that there's nothing. And
Yes.
that doesn't make sense.
Yes.
You see,
You
when
see,
you
and a
come
lot
to
of people are
someone to
picking
tell
up on
them
that
that
now.
you, sorry?
No, go ahead.
I said a lot of people are picking up on what you just said.
Yeah, but that's what it is, you know. He came to tell us that there is
Yes.
nothing.
But yes.
The man actually said that he agreed with the draft. So, what was the purpose of the press conference?
Because he never saw what he agreed on.
Political points, Brother Garfield.
That's right.
But he
And
actually
he
made
should
himself
not
an
be using that
disjustice.
platform.
Sorry?
He should
Yes,
not be
you're right.
using that. He should not be using that platform to spin his
Exactly.
political
Exactly.
agenda like that.
And
Because now
that's
he's in a
that's the
public
point I was
office
going to bring forward.
representing the people. There you go.
Correct. Correct. You see, let me tell you, we have to be very vigilant as to how this government operates, you know. Because I don't know if St. Lucians are paying attention. You see the things that are of importance to the citizenry, they discontinue it. You know, they basically say we're not gonna do it. They look for all kinds of nonsense to justify their stupidity. The HIA airport, that project there, what happened? It was stopped, right? And now I think they're doing some form of retrofitting with the old building, right?
Yeah.
All right. That means the citizenry don't deserve the best of things, right?
That's right.
Go back to the hospital.
Well, he said he's using 2 other buildings from the box. I'm not sure if this guy know what the box is, what he called the box.
A lot of echoing. I don't understand what you're saying. Sorry.
Okay, what I'm saying is that there's still echo.
Brother Garfield?
Are you still getting the echo?
Yeah, I can barely understand what you say. The echo is so bad.
You getting an
we're not hearing
echo?
it.
Can you hear him
But
clearly?
go ahead. I don't know. I'll try to get it rectified. Can you still hear me?
Now I can hear you. Now I can hear you.
No echo, right?
No echo. Yeah, that's perfect.
Evita, you can
That's
hear?
perfect.
Yes, I can hear him.
Good. All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So here's what I'm saying. The hospital, Brother Garfield, which is a major project to better the health of the people, he stopped the hospital, the new structure. However, here's the gimmick. While he stopped that hospital that is modernized, he said that he need health and safety, security, taxes to better our health, which he already stopped the facility that can actually bring forth that better health in the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
These guys are continuously taking us for a ride. And unless the people of St. Lucia rise up against that nonsense, because you don't have to be in secondary school or even in college to understand the stupidity that is happening in this country. You know, you're borrowing millions of dollars all the time, yet still the roads are deplorable, right? Every department, I don't care what some people may say. Oh, how can you say all the departments in St. Lucia are not working? All government institutions, all those departments that we have currently, all of them are broken down. You know, I am sorry for the people that feel offended that work there, but I will say it as it is. My brother, we have public servants working in their own interest and in the interest of politicians and not in the interest of the people that actually they're supposed to be working for. How can I support those kind of nonsense? You understand? So long ago, we have a problem with a passport office. You're telling me that people in St. Lucia and the PSCs or whoever is in charge of those departments, they are so incompetent that you cannot figure out a way, you know, to bring forth an office so that this thing can continue. You actually need a government minister to do that. Is that what we always going to depend on? Then if we're going to depend on government ministers, Brother Garfield, to bring forth everything, then we don't need public servants. We should stop paying public servants. You understand what I'm saying? Eh?
Caribbean American News Network.
Sorry, that got you?
Yeah, you get my point?
Yes, sir.
You see, it's time that we understand that the dollar we paying in this country, it is not for the politician, but the dollar we paying, and I'm talking about the tax dollar. You know, the dollar we paying, if it doesn't work in our interest, then we should stop paying taxes. We should stop paying taxes, and period. I'm not against paying taxes, Brother Garfield, but I am drawing my point. And my point is, if you can take 150 on gas, right, to fix roads, and then we still have roads so bad, then why are we paying those money, Brother Garfield? Right?
Where is that money
You're
going?
gonna take $200 million, right, to fix our hospital, but yet still look at what you want to give us in terms of a hospital. And every time your ministers and yourself, y'all are sick, you know what y'all do? Y'all charter airlines, y'all take helicopter rides, and y'all go to those same buildings you don't want to give us. So if you're not going to give us the best of the best, Brother Garfield, we shouldn't be paying taxes. You know, it's high time that these politicians stop playing politics with our own money, because that's what they're doing. Brother Garfield, mark my words, and I will tell your audience tonight, all what is happening there, monies have been put aside for just because of election purposes. I will tell you will see the amount of money that will be spent the year of election. Mark my words, that's what happened every year. Who is looking after this? Where are the integrity personnel? We don't have that in St. Lucia, right? But yet still we're paying for it. No, we don't have it, but we're paying for it. You know, it's a whole melange, or however they say it. You know, when it comes to the actual governance of this country. Brother Garfield, if our institutions are failing us, how do you think the politicians will behave? Exactly the way they'll behave in there.
That's right.
Well, guess what?
It's high time that nonsense stop. And you know what pisses me off sometimes? People say, oh, they don't have laws in St. Lucia. How you mean they don't have laws? They have laws, Brother Garfield. The laws are not being enforced by the enforcer. That is the problem.
That's right.
That's where the problem lies. Because every time somebody come to St. Lucia, or even St. Lucians living abroad, you would hear some of them saying, that's if it's in St. Lucia, that ain't happening like that. Just because maybe the police stopped them, they were speeding. You know, these are the things, Brother Garfield. They themselves, when they're abroad, they will tell you that they know it's wrong, you know, but they will still tell you, that's if I was in St. Lucia, I passed with that, you know. They're proud to say it, brother. They're proud.
Now, but they're right. They're right, because when I was younger, I bought a vehicle. I did not have license. It did not have insurance. And I drove through a police stop. And I'm at the age now I can confess my sins. I want to go to heaven. And when the police saw me, they stopped the vehicle and they said, oh, go ahead. You good, man. You good. Go ahead. I had nothing at all.
No, but does that make it right?
No.
Does that make it right?
I mean, it speaks of our enforcement.
Yes. So don't say that there is no laws. The laws are there. But who are the enforcers? That's where the problem lies. Yeah. You see, let me tell you something.
We have another call coming in, but go ahead.
Yes, I will end by saying this. Let me tell you something. The moment the people we have in the helm of our institutions as public servants, the moment you see those public servants start holding these politicians accountable, you see all that nonsense, it goes away. You can swear it evaporates like water. Thank you very much, brother.
Good call, Evita.
Thank you.
That was another good call.
I know. I was just saying in the fact that he was talking about the law. Are you, with unlawful offenses, the offense of an unlawful possession of a firearm should not be bailable in this place?
Yes. Sorry about that. The calls are coming in so fast. Hold a minute,
Oh,
they're coming in so quickly.
Okay,
yes.
You know what? We'll have more time for this. Let's take the callers.
Caller, you're on the air. Caribbean American News Media.
Yeah, man. Good night, my brother. Good night. Good night to my lady as well.
Yes, that's my honorable member. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, my brother. I want to start off by saying this. In hard times brings off great men. And in good times, you get weak men.
Mhm.
And by the reason why I say that, in the hard times of the COVID-19, which I could say it was the beginning of the 7 years of famine or the 5 years of famine as what we've seen we are going through right now. So it came like Alan Shastney fought through some hard times within our countries. The last 2 years of his tenure, and with the constant heating of the St. Lucia Labour Party with the lies and propaganda, it built him into a great man because he maneuvered where many politicians and many statesmen has failed. He held his dignity. He hold the country together. He was actually the first prime minister in the Caribbean to reopen the island for tourism and said that we have to
Coexist.
Coexist with the COVID-19. But if you watch the COVID-19, it is a testament that Philip J. Pierre during 2021 got an economy that took off like a jet. He got over $75 million in surplus, now just of taxes. You understand? So the world. I guess they have some report, the index saying that St. Lucia was growing at 18% at one point. You understand? So my thing is that those guys was boasting in 2021 because that's when the election we lost, when UWP lost the election. But the policies that was put in place, like for example, all what the people are saying there, your past two callers, the roads, all those different aspects. Now we come to a situation where our country, our economy is in a meltdown. Our foreign policy is in a meltdown. Everything it's crashing. Everything is going in a disarray. Are we, this generation now, is going to sit down and allow 17 men with their friends, their foreigners, and their families benefiting, and while the rest of the country is sinking in taxes, in hardship, in high food prices, in high gas prices, and we have the turmoil that is happening in the Middle East, where the Suez Canal, all those different things, everything is getting expensive. You understand? This is the great dilemma we are facing in our country. Hello, you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Yeah. This is the great dilemma. So my thing is, now we have heard everything that everybody has to say. What are we as a people going to do now? Because I remember Alan Shastney came on a talk show and he said that if PJP do not follow certain guidelines, which is guidelines that is accurate, because he have members of his cabinet are getting files from the police officers. We had the problem at the police commissioner for sexual misconduct. A number of different things. The 2.5 levy, that new tax they want to come and impose on St. Lucians, stopping all the different projects and whatnot. The road is in a bad condition. We're going and beg Venezuela for asphalt. Understand? We have a man shortage in our country. You know, if you look at it as like, if you look at it like, for me, my New Year is in February, like the Chinese New Year, I would say. In 13 months, you know how much murders we had in 13 months? 82 murders in 13 months, not 12 months, 13. If you just continue in it like that, you understand, with no pause. So I'm not trying to say anything like on his strategies and what he should do, but the situation is now, what is the solution? Are we ready to shut down the country? Because we have to do two things, two things fast. Shut down the country and show the people what we now coming to do better in saving the country. Yeah.
Yes. Well,
You
Hello?
know,
Yes,
Sir
sir. We're
Paul, I
here.
would say this to you.
Yeah,
The
yes. I was
shutting
just
down of
telling
the
you the two
country
things we have to do is
If you go
are
ahead.
we ready to shut down the country? Yes, yes. Yeah, in an echo, there's a slight delay, so I'll not be hearing what you're saying.
You hear it now?
You can
Yeah,
hear?
I'm not hearing her.
Okay,
Okay, hold a
go ahead.
minute. I have an issue here with the
I'm hearing her
system.
now. I'm hearing her now.
Okay, I was saying to you, caller, your question was what it is, the intention is. The intention is right now, as much as it is, yes, the shutting down of the country is necessary and mandatory, of course, in an effort to ensure that we can deal with what it is. But what we as a people also need to know collectively is in order for this to be done, we work and we understand there's a process. And the process right now is that there is that little emergency section there. But then you see, let me tell you, St. Lucia, what we're dealing with here, and probably the resistance that Mr. Alan Chastney is facing, Honorable Chastney. The Governor General is supposed to be appointed, not politically appointed. Now, when you have a governor general who's appointed through a political hack kind of application system, you can understand the resistance. But Call, I'm saying this to you. And you know, Garfield, I put that section out. We have a section of the Constitution which allows the Governor General, which is supposed to unbiasedly resolve and dissolve the Parliament with the signs of corruption, which has clearly been proven. But the only reason that I think Honorable Shastney has not been able to enforce that, because number one, yes, our people were not aware of what their constitutional right was, and number two, the resistance. So now that we are advocating and we are understanding, and with people like you, the previous caller, who are calling on it, it cannot be one, two, three of you alone. So right now, then, my brother, I'm telling you is spread the word. It is our constitutional right to stand behind our current leader of the opposition, who is the owner, who's the member of the parliament as well, to dissolve it. So then we can collectively, as a people, say, Mr. Chasney, we are standing with you and we are asking you, and Governor General, whoever, I don't even know who the Governor, I think it's a Charles person, whoever you are, allow us as the people to exercise our constitutional rights and stop blocking the man, because that there is discrimination, you know.
Yeah.
That there is discrimination, what they're doing to this man who is trying to exercise his constitutional right for us as a people, because he is the voice of the people right now.
We have another hard call coming in.
Okay.
All right,
yeah.
caller. Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
But thank you, caller. We spread the word of the Constitution. That's how we shut it down.
Yes, caller, you're on the air. Caribbean American News Media. You're on with your His Majesty and also honorable member.
Good evening,
Hello.
Brother Happy New Year to you and to your guest.
Happy New Year to you, my brother, from another mother.
Happy New Year.
Brother Garfield, allow me to segue a bit. And I want to put something to you, an issue that is important to me. And not just to me, but to the wider Saint public. And I don't know if you're aware of it. Are you aware that there's not a chief elections officer?
There is not a what?
Repeat.
Chief, are you aware that there isn't a chief elections officer?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Is this somebody who holds a position round the clock or only during election time?
No, that is a permanent position. That's the head of what we call the electoral department. And from my information, seems that the individual who has retired, there's a vacant post. But here is where it gets worse. So there is not a chief elections officer. That individual who once held the post went on retirement, and this Labour Party government brought him back as a consultant, and there is no chief elections officer at the electoral office. That is concerning, Brother Garfield and Evita, and I'll tell you why. If we pride ourselves in free elections and democracy, we must have a functioning electoral office.
Of
And
course.
you know, there's a potential for all kinds of shenanigans when it comes to our electoral process,
But let me ask you, any idea
or what we call elections.
any idea why one was not appointed immediately?
Well, he said the guy
The government is a
retired, but
deliberate
then
thing. They chose not to appoint a chief elections officer. And there, for my information again, and you can do your research, your investigation, there are persons within the electoral office and the electoral office or the electoral department who are competent enough to hold that post. But the government of the Labour Party and Philip JPA refuses to appoint a chief elections officer. The gentleman who once held the post, like I indicated, went on retirement, and he was brought back on a one-year contract as a consultant to the electoral office.
So
and they wanted to go on a snap
so there's a
election.
consultant, but not a director.
There's a consultant, but not a chief elections officer.
But what does the Constitution state?
This is where I'm going. Based on what I'm getting, you must have a chief elections officer in place to have an electoral commission in place. And this is worrying to me and concerning to me on the basis that if I'm not accusing anybody here on your platform, but I'm just saying it's a concern to me. If we do not have a functioning electoral office, you cannot have a functioning democracy in St. Lucia, and our elections, there's a potential or probability or possibility that our elections could be compromised. This is my point.
Well, I can guarantee you, not this time it will not be compromised. But go ahead, Evita. If you don't want to say something.
It can be. He's right in what he's saying there. But then what we also need to know, Garfield, is having the fact that he retired, right?
Mm-hmm.
There must be some process, and if so be the case, shouldn't this process of the person that's been elected should be made public?
Yeah.
To me, that day it should be a public bid for a position like that, irrespective of there are other people who may be considered suitable for the position. Is this a bid, or how do you go about electing somebody?
Let me just make a slight correction there. That person was not appointed. That individual who I indicated was on retirement. He held the post as chief elections officer. He went on retirement. Rather than appoint a chief elections officer, the Labour Party government and Philip JPA went the route of hiring that individual on a one-year contract as a consultant to the electoral office.
So let me ask a question. Do you know
the position of chief elections officer remains vacant, but the Labour Party and Philip JPA chose to rehire that individual and put him there as a consultant.
That's a convenient move for them. It's convenient to them because guess what? By hiring him as a consultant, it eliminates paying that monthly salary, which means he's on a retainer, but he's still getting paid. But by eliminating having him in that position, which means it is, but guess what? He's not. You see it, but the average man probably didn't see it.
On a one-year contract. When his contract is up, which is sometime this year, from my information again, it will be due come October. If two things that can happen possibly, you can terminate his contract and you have to pay him the gratuity and whatever in lieu of whatever vacation he incurs, or you can choose to extend this contract. So I'm saying, rather than this government, be sensible, because there it is. You have the questioning the cost of the K9 dog, $40,000. So it's expensive to re-engage the K9 unit or the K9 dog, so that we can put a stamp on and put some control when it comes to crimes and investigation. Be querying that the cost, but you can hire a guy. Do not appoint a chief elections officer. And like I indicated before, Brother Gaston and Evita, there are persons at the electoral office, the electoral department, who are competent and capable to hold that post by virtue of the years and the experience and the expertise. But rather than go that route, this government chose to keep the post vacant and hire an individual as a consultant, paying him, giving him a 1-year contract. That is absurd. That is total
Because it's a
madness.
convenience for
And
them.
I'm concerned because
Convenience.
exactly, because you see this, my concern is, and I'm putting it out there in the public space for a simple reason. I'm concerned that we pride ourselves in free and fair elections. And if we have to continue having free and fair elections, we must have a functioning, fair electoral department. And that is my point. So I'm putting it out there, Brother Garfield. You do your investigation. Don't take my word for it.
I'm going to call the office tomorrow.
I think
know
it's
the information that I
important
put on there on
because
your platform is accurate, it's factual, but I want you to do your investigation. Don't take my word for it. But I know what I'm saying is factual. And when you get your information, you can bring it out to the public space. Because I broke that story last year on Champagne's show on Sky FM. And Champagne had some doubts with my information. I broke it 6 months before the actual rehiring of that individual was concerned. Champagne did his initial investigation. Then he came back and he had to apologize to me. And he told me, listen, Ian, the information that you brought out on my show was accurate. And I spoke to a few persons who validated the information that I'm giving you there. But you can go ahead and make some calls. But I'm telling you, as we speak now, the position of Chief Elections Officer is vacant. There's no Chief Elections Officer. And the government of the Labour Party chose to rehire the individual who once held that position and made him a consultant to the electoral office. And that is worrying to me, and that is a concern to me if we want to have free and fair elections in St. Lucia. So I'm putting it out there in your public space. Thanks for giving me the opportunity, Brother Garfield, on this for putting it out there in the public space. And we have to do our necessary investigation to ensure that we maintain free and fair elections.
And by the
Thank
way,
you very much, and have a blessed
and by the way,
night.
Ian, if you have any more information on that, you can always reach out to Evita too, and she's my partner in crime. All right.
I want to, before he hands up, you know before what you're saying there, what you're saying them, I want to ask you now, which means that person who has retired and is on the a contract consultancy basis, that's a very strategic move in a sense, not a strategic move for the people, a strategic move for them. Now we also need to know who is this person, why is it that they're on, why did they choose this option? And it brings back to us again, if you on retirement, give somebody else a chance. You see what they like to do? They hold on to these positions when you have other youngsters who give somebody else a chance to take a step up and prove their capabilities and give them a chance to see that maybe for once we'll not have a rigged election. But then if they decide to do that, it's not going to be feasible for them because keeping this person on a consultancy means they can call a snap election when there'll be conveniently this person there who can make sure that it's rigged again. You see what happened? That's corruption, my brother.
Yeah, but we'll make a call on that. We'll make a call to the. We'll look at the Constitution, and then we'll make.
Well, I don't know if I'm just giving based on what it is that I saw. I'm just saying because it's just funny. Why is it would you keep somebody on a retainer like that?
That's
right. Position right there. You would need somebody because let's be fair. This person needs to have an idea daily of who's been registered. They have a key part in everything because we have new children that just left school.
That's why
we need to ensure everything corresponds.
And that's why I tell you the entire government system, I believe, needs to be overhauled.
Yes, it needs a reform.
Because once you put a crooked politician in government, the system is already broken.
There you go. We have a crumbled system. We have a crumbled system.
Crumbled system, yeah. Outdated.
It has crumbled.
Oh, yeah.
And it's sad. And we don't know what duress our public servants are under because let's be honest, they're not going to speak out at this time for fear of different reasons.
Yeah. Some of them just need to hold on to their job for a few more years, 2 more years. And
they figure they're on the door. You have those that figure, you know what, I just did back in time. So they really don't
Yeah,
care.
they don't care.
You
But
know our whole country underneath a silent protest and we don't even realize it.
listen, the Labour. I'll tell you something, and you make that's a powerful statement. I strongly believe that the Labour Party government, they are underestimating the climate in St.
They
Lucia.
are.
They are taking
And they are
silent
currently
for consent.
underestimated. There you go. And our people are not silent because they feel defeated. Our people right now are starting to see
And
because you
they are
know why?
marking
They're
time.
seeing where their dollar go in.
That's right.
And you see, once our people can't see where their dollar go in, they will have a problem.
But let me
And
show
then
you.
that is where the problem is.
But let me
They
show you
get
one of their
silent.
hacks. One of their former hacks
Okay.
who tried to give me hell as a supporter of the United Workers' Party. Let's listen to a former hackalak, right? This Hannah Cray, a former hackalak. And I'll tell you why he's doing what he's doing. I have no bones with him. I want to give him jab. I want to jab him. He deserve it. He deserve it. I'm going to give him a cyber punch tonight. Where? A cyber punch I'm going to give him.
Your term by labor is okay. Can you tell the party was pièce. Because ça gaspille ton fait là. Ou gaspille ton. Moun travail, moun vote par médala. Et vous pas même via un house parliament, you see men. Okay, what puppy show is that? You need to get out. You get out. Can you tell me get out? Kokoro will come back in his spot. Tell this guy to go and say, I'm not going to be. But Shema will take goes over. We have to bring Stanis guys back and Guy Joseph coming back. These are my prediction. Ernest Hiller is going out of this place. I tell you that. Because there are more of people that talk. When did I go back to St. Lucia? Maybe a year ago. Because you know, the people do not like you in based on now. You'll tell me maybe the people I met, but everything is on statistics. Everything is based on statistics. If I met 5 people and one said they like Ernest Hiller, that means there's more people who don't like him. That's how life is. You don't give you a Ernest Hiller. Now, I don't know what's the alternative. Maybe that's the problem. They don't have a good person to put in place of Ernest Hiller. Ernest Hiller back away. Stephen King winning just based on what I don't know what Stephen King. Because Pastor Adima want to continue about touch me for pack up a sidewalk by saying Jean King out the civil. Tout les Andrea ni match to kakwa about Andrea. You need to put some sidewalk to go down. Okay? Now I'll tell you something about what's in the Norbert. Jeremiah Norbert. I'm going to give you a warning, and if you're going to read what I'm telling you, I don't know you. I don't know your family. I don't know anything about you, Jeremiah Norbert. Nothing. But I know you're associated with some people that may take you down, that may make you do illegal.
Okay.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
And usher him out.
Stop it.
And usher him out. Take his microphone and usher him out.
Kick it out.
Ooh,
Honestly,
snap.
I don't hate you, sir. But who say Bob Wallace who say T Bob Wallace kick it around, sir? Who say T Bob Wallace, guys, sir? Guys, sir, you knew the truth.
I will plead the First Amendment on this one. I'll resist the urge to criticize.
Let me deal with this Bob Wallace.
I'll resist the urge to criticize.
You have the right to remain silent.
I resist the urge to criticize.
Ooh. KKR, sir. Because you get in
What happened to your friend there? Hello, check on your friend next side there.
I checking on him right now. I give him a big checkup tonight. Let me tell you something.
Your friend.
We don't have no Coco Roll Rum or whatever you call it in our party. We have the Honorable Dominic Fede. And you don't have to tell us that he's going to win his seat. We know he's going to win his seat. You ain't no political prophet. I am the political prophet, not you. And I'm going to prophesy something here. Sir, Mr. Kiki RR. Now remember,
Hello.
Hello.
Plead the Fifth Amendment.
No, I want Kiki RR tonight. I want him bad.
KKKR, we wish you all the best for the new year, and at the same time, too, as we move forward, I'm giving it to you in the boss lady show. As we move forward in 2024 and we go into the progress that we know we're about to see, we welcome you, KKKR. We welcome you. Come true, we welcome you.
You see, you have too much mercy on him. Let me deal with the man, then I'll have mercy after. Me money buy this year, me pui.
No. Hello. For KKKR, let's be fair, St. Lucia. We laughing at these things, but let's be serious here. When you have certain people when these people can come at this stage of the game and make, we may laugh, but that's a very clear indication that there is division among them.
No, but it's not really the division that burning me, KKR knew from the beginning that them fellas were not good for St. Lucia. But because he was getting free tickets, he was getting money, he was all kind of thing he was getting. Then but guess what? I am happy, as you say, that he's
calmer.
That he's between a rock and a hard place. He's in limbo and puppetry.
Why you making me feel sorry? Why you do me that? But KKKR, I have something to tell you. I'm sorry we ran out of violin strings. Lick your wound and do what you have to do. Come true, we'll take you.
No, but let me give the man some wound. Let me give him some wound until he can lick it.
You're giving it to him.
So he can lick it. You know why
you're giving it to him? Yes.
No, I have this coming for him. When he sa puli, he can buy tout moun me pou yek ba ay ko ham. Moun ya bagay pou ou gasa. Ou de sa bouk la ka kwaze country. Ou sa misye pa bo pou sit lisi gasa. Ek ou de sa ek ou vote bay se boun na gasa. Ek ou apoisa ou ka di Guy Joseph is the best person. You vote in UWP. Now we're happy that you're back. We're happy that you're coming back to the fold. We're happy that you come to your senses. But when it before to yonder,
but don't bring that drama. But he had to don't bring that drama over here. I know when you come over here, if there's any point in time you decide that you're going back next side, we are discrediting you in the party. The whole nation discrediting you.
Not yet tout se vent boudin. Kite. See if ça. But
let me say hello. Deal with your friend. Check on your friend over there because your friend looks like he needs a hug. Let me give you a virtual hug.
Come for a hug. Come for a cyber hug, brother. Come. But it's good, right? And he's right that the fellas are forming the fool in government.
Yes.
And
it's true.
It was only a matter of time before,
for KKKR to get wise.
He's not too wise yet, but he's in a good place.
That's what you think.
He's in a good place. He's in a good place. And the sad thing is that they're going to attack him. They're going to hate him. They're going to say all nastiness about him because he's speaking his mind. He is speaking the truth.
And guess what? He's okay. And guess what? You know what, St. Lucia? He's entitled. We are all entitled at some point. You know what? Who's to say? Like again, the offers were good. Mm-hmm. But let's be honest, Garfield, it's human nature.
Yeah.
If you know, everybody wants the opportunity to take themselves up a notch in whatever capacity they choose. I try not. That's your friend.
Sorry, wait.
Hello.
Let me do my last piece on him. Can I do my last piece on him and then we welcome him? Guess what?
Hey, who your friend?
KKRR, I want to speak to you directly. I am so
Call the station,
sorry.
KKR. We won't see you.
I know.
We won't see you.
KKRR, I am so sorry that when you fell off the chair on your live, and you quasi the whole of your sitting room. I laughed. I apologize, sir. Welcome to the camp. Welcome back.
It was a good laugh. It was a good laugh.
Gasa, mo we tell my gasa, Marisa Domi. Let me see it to me. Me see it to me at there break a deck. But the mama. To Zami earthquake, tout bagay fendi. But I will tell you, when the Labour Party finished with him, he won't be good for himself. And sad, that's what they do when you disagree with them. And, you know, he's right. He's entitled to his opinion, his truth. You know, I mean, we and by the way, I always say to the United Workers' Party, you can never win election by dividing. You win by adding. And if the man is and he alone can bring 100 votes. You alone, if he can bring more than 200.
Garfield, but you have to be fair here too. You have to understand there will be some resistance because let's be honest, that situation there is a very ticklish situation. I plead the Fifth Amendment. Deal with your friend, give him a hug.
I plead the 20th Amendment. Right,
because as for me, I think at this point in time, he should just pacify the situation. Because let's be honest, Garfield, that's a bomb waiting to explode there, you know. You know that?
I know.
That is a bomb waiting to explode. Now you're laughing, but that's another form of amendment. Take it, my brother, but give your KKKR, we invite you at any point in time. KKKR, we want to hear from you. Did that sound sincere?
I want to challenge him. I really want to challenge him.
We want to hear you. And you know what? I'm saying this in a fair way because heritage, again, this is an example of we may laugh and joke at things, but there is the seriousness to it, which is where I'm coming.
Yeah.
If this man at this stage, knowing what he knows and his experience and has decided to say, hey, we need to hear him.
True.
And Garfield, I think so because we really don't know and we may never know in its entirety what has transpired that has made him, take the stance that he's taken. This individual taking this stance, St. Lucia, that there is a very, very serious thing. So I think, Garfield, let's give him a chance, St. Lucia. We like to be objective, and with that said, it's not just about saying, okay, he was upset, he comes over to the party and we take it. No, and I'm saying this to say, Garfield, on behalf of the people, because they have people who called me after I did that live who will be very concerned about his agenda coming into the United Workers' Party right now, no matter what, because he's gone hard for his team.
Yeah.
So KKR, we want to see you.
Yeah. Come
important.
into our cell. We have a special cell
for
very,
interrogation. Very important. We need to see you.
Yes.
But we come in peace, of course, and we come in love. St. Lucia, I'm saying this to say when he comes on, let's objectively hear what this man has to say. And let's, we giving it to you hard, KKKR. I warning you, you won't get it. But we come with love. We come with love.
Yeah, it's true, and I totally agree with
you. Have any more callers coming in?
Just one more, and then we leave in. One more.
Calling caller.
As a result of the reduced consumer traffic at the market due to COVID, some vendors chose to rove the streets hawking their goods. The CCC, however, restricted the activity to the extent that trolleys were confiscated by the city police.
There are loads of things across the globe that bring character to a city. You go to Taiwan, you go to Singapore, everywhere in the world, the major cities, walk through Manhattan, vendors all on the sidewalks. Yes. That is what gives a city its character. And like I said, it really hurt my heart one Mother's Day when I saw the Castries City Council taking the little facilities that the vendors used to sell and packing them up as though they were throwing them away at the
Okay, well, the same thing is happening right now, and I hope the minister can
Let me
go
tell you,
and deal
you
with
see
it.
that right there.
Yeah.
You see again when we talk about playing on the ignorance of people, I don't think the issue was just packing the people up. But let's be fair, some of them vendors by the road nasty.
Mm.
It's an eyesore when you see some of these stalls. Let's be fair. Let us be fair here. We are saying we're taking daily bread from people, but let's be fair. You seen how nasty Castries is? Of course, we've traveled to the big city. We're not saying it gives the atmosphere. It's what gives the city the atmosphere. But let's be fair. There's a cleaner way of putting it.
That's true. And you can't even walk in Castries on the sidewalk. You got to
You
walk on
cannot
the
even
road.
walk on the
They
sidewalk
took
properly.
by the house there in Castries. They took over that whole sidewalk with umbrellas. You can
Let
hardly
me
walk.
tell you. And you see it is again of how now it's you see when you put it out there like that to the average man they will say yes he's right, but then let's look at it, St. Lucia. Some of these things are such an eyesore. They need to go. I like
But he's
nice
the
things. I
one who
like clean
encouraged
things.
them to go out and put their stuff by the side. Mr. Shastney wanted them in a facility. He said that it was almost ridiculous and told
Now
them to
let's
go
look at
everywhere
it too.
and set up outside. That's what he's arguing
He's
for.
talking about setting up on sidewalks. Let's look at the emergency component of things.
The guy's a joker.
We have a
Anyway,
lot of dynamics we can look at there, but you know what? It's water underneath the bridge. It's 10:02. Are you finished what's in that cup already?
we are fit almost, but we're going to leave now. We have one more. We have a caller online. Let's take that call and then we will dismiss. You want to go now? Caller, you on the air.
Me, I ain't going anywhere until
Good
the
evening,
caller.
Brother Garfield, and good evening, Evita.
Good evening, my honorable
Good
friend, too.
evening.
Good. How are you? Everything good?
We're holding on, we're breathing, honey, and we are ensuring that we do the work to when we come to present to the people that they're never gonna have to go through this Great Depression again.
Fabulous. Listen, I heard you guys. I came in late. I heard you guys speaking of our great friend KKR. This is. I don't want to talk about KKR. I just want to make a point, and then I can go on to what I really called to talk about.
Okay.
KKR has swung from one side to the next, and then back to the side, and then back to us again. KKR has no idea where he's at still. So whatever he says, though it's true, I just take it with a pinch of salt.
Oh, snap.
Yes.
Oh,
and
snap.
I think that we should all do the same, because when we have someone moving back and forth like a seesaw, you need to know that this person may go right back to where they just came from.
You are very correct.
Well, the reason why he's talking
You're
to
very
is
correct.
that, let me tell you all, let me say it now. The reason why KKR is speaking so often now, it is because Facebook removed the hole that they had on his account when it comes to monetization for ads. So right now, he is making a little money on Facebook for his live. So that's what I'm saying. Yes, he's speaking the truth, but we got to be careful when they remove the ads, then he's going to switch and start talking something else. But go ahead, caller.
All right. So with everything, Happy New Year to everyone. If I haven't said Happy New Year in the last show, Happy New Year to everyone. Hope everyone has a good year.
Happy New Year to you. We are
St.
seven.
Lucia.
We are 7 dead so far for the new year, but Happy New Year to you.
That's correct. I was just about to say it. We've had 7 deaths, so that's 1 every 3 days in St. Lucia. And have we heard anything from our Prime Minister, who's our security minister, about the trend of death happening in St. Lucia at the beginning of 2024?
There's murder everywhere in the world.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
I think,
So I guess in a
She
small
focused
place
what
like
when we
St.
have to
Lucia,
talk about what's
238
happening in
square
our country.
miles, there's murder everywhere, and it's normal for us to have one murder every 3 days in St. Lucia, huh? Now, I'm only saying it, I'm not sizing. I'm only saying it because when the UWP was there, when there was one or two murders, everybody was up all the trees, the tallest trees that St. Lucia had, shouting very loudly. So I'm shouting now and saying to the Prime Minister, who's the security minister, that he needs to do, it's about time he does something substantial to take care of this murder rate that has started yet again in 2024.
Yeah.
That is one. Number two, did I hear the Prime Minister correctly, or I don't know if where it came out of, that the so-called box, remember that conversation I had with you, Brother Garfield, on your show, telling you that the same box that they're giving so much talk and they that could have happened to St. Jude, that they would have had to use that same box?
Yes, you did.
What's happening today, Brother Garfield?
Well, I don't know how he divided the box into two parts of it, but he said he's using two buildings in the box. Me ain't seen no two buildings in the box yet.
What is he using the
Two
building
buildings
for?
in the box. The box, I guess, has two buildings in it. All he's using downstairs of the box. He's completing downstairs to let St. Jude's in. What is he really doing? But he's using the box anyway. The same box, the same car park, according to one of his ministers. The glorified car park, it was called. Today, that same government is using this. Didn't they realize that they should have used it when they came in 2021? And that if they had continued the work on the box, like they call it, which is an insult, on the hospital, that it would have been completed, at least the downstairs, and that St. Jude's would have been in there by now. And I know why I'm saying that. I am saying that to remind St. Lucians of what the SLPs did to them. Nonsense. Today you can come and say you're using whatever part of the box. Mr. Prime Minister, you didn't know in the interim that you... Brother Garfield, please flush him. I'll wait.
Let me see if I still have water.
Thank you.
I saved some of the water for later.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we
Are
need
you
some more
also
water because we
aware,
have
caller?
others to flush.
Are you
So you're
also
saying
aware,
that
caller,
he didn't know
that
it? Well, Solutions, open your eyes to the lies. Now, I heard the MP of Ancillary, was it Ancillary, making a statement saying this is the worst the roads have ever been. When they came in, they acquired in bad roads and stuff.
Yeah.
May I remind everybody on this platform that when Chastain's administration was rebuilding roads in St. Lucia through COVID and whatnot and creating jobs for thousands of people, that the Labour Party stood up and said, people do not eat roads. So may I say to the MP of Ancillary Canaries, the current one, may I say to him, you ought to be ashamed of yourself to stand in this house and make that statement. You should not even show your face to St. Lucians right now.
And usher him out. Take his microphone and usher him out.
Usher him out.
That's right.
Usher him out.
Imagine
now,
you come on a public
more, you know,
platform
there's
and
a lot more that's going on in St. Lucia. So in St. Lucia now, we now have IRS, so we have the feds or somebody. Something happened. They're now giving him $40 million to invest in the Inland Revenue Department to come after the small business people who are struggling to make their businesses work out and to even feed themselves at the moment. As for the one or two little staff members or no staff members they have.
Yeah.
And you're so out of your mind, Philip J. Pierre, and you're so needing monies from anywhere you can get it, that now you will come and seize people's property?
Imagine that.
Did Philip J. Pierre ever give any of these people a grant or even assist them to start their businesses when they started it?
Well, it's a proposal. It's not really law as yet.
Yeah, but Garfield, let's be fair for you to even consider putting this out in the public, Garfield.
There's very little that SLP proposes that they don't put into
They just
law.
implement. They just implement things.
That's right.
And the fact that they have actually put this out there, Garfield, you can already see where this is leading to.
They put it out to get the response of the people.
That's right. It's like a mystery shopping
we don't want
survey.
it. I'm speaking on behalf of
It's
all
like a mystery
the small
shop.
businesses in St. Lucia. We do not want it. We can't afford it. You have killed
So
us
have
in
it.
price of groceries, goods, services. Your 2.5% is now a 7.5 or 10%. Your levy is uncalled for. The prices in this country it's too high. We cannot afford it. Philip J. Pierre, find another avenue for money. Stop that nonsense. Leave us alone.
But guess what? Let me interject here, sweetheart. Can't we speculate, Garfield, caller, at the same time too? The fact that he's implementing those taxes, could it be mean that they have done themselves so bad and dug that pit that they're not getting aid out there because of the bigger man seeing what they're doing, which is why they have no choice but to implement those taxes because they cannot get it elsewhere. Because if they could, they would not be imposing those on the people, you know.
No, Evita, they can get it elsewhere. He is a lazy prime minister. He does not want to work. Have you seen Philip J. Pierre do an ounce of work since he took up leadership in St. Lucia?
No, I'm living proof of that.
Have you seen any innovation come out of the SLP government from 2021 or ever in the past?
There's nothing.
Don't you know that the SLP government is the taxing government? That's how they run a country on tax?
There's nothing. We have to be fair. There's nothing. We have to be honest. There's nothing. There's nothing. And we have, and then guess what? Already we have such a depression. We're in a great depression going through. They implement those taxes there, and guess what? We are not even circulating a certain amount or have anything generating within the economy right now to even allow us to, because we have nothing. And guess what? The tourists that are coming in off of those cruise ships, our people are making it even harder because of the nothing. They robbed. So we are losing in all areas. We are losing.
Listen,
our you know
tourism industry has literally diminished.
Of course.
Okay, I'm seeing us focusing on jazz, on carnival, on short-term effects. But we are not focusing on anything that gives longevity and jobs to the people of St. Lucia. There is no long-term anything happening in this country momentarily from 2021 to now.
we really cannot say that we have recorded growth. And when I say growth, we're not even looking at those GPD and we're not even looking at figures. As a people and as a country, we really have not seen growth, you know.
There is absolutely no growth
We
in St.
haven't.
Lucia. Our economy is contracting. We do not have, and I will be very clear about what I'm going to say. We are at a point where we do not have disposable income.
No, we
Now,
don't.
there are people that will say, oh, this woman is telling a lie. I have disposable income. How many of us can put up our hands tonight and say it's January, it's not payday yet, that we have disposable income, that we can go out there and sit down and have dinner or do something with our families and stuff. The monies we've had has gone into the high cost of bills, food, and to take care of what we need to take care of in terms of our livelihoods. But we do not have any money. We don't have spending money. So how can our economy move? The man has put in everything he has done with taxes is contracting the economy rather than growing it.
So let me ask you a question, your opinion there. While I know we always look at January, what do you think that we're in this economic crisis right now with everything that's happening? What is your take on us having and the jazz festival?
Listen, there is nothing wrong with having the jazz festival. It is how much money we spend in the jazz festival that matters. It is the returns from the jazz festival that matters.
There
you
you
understand? Everything can be done within a certain budget and a budget that would give us the returns on that budget that we're putting into it. But if we're putting $14 million into a jazz festival and we're only making $5 million returns, we are at a loss.
And we're
So
putting
we need
$14
to
billion
find a way
into
to do
something,
this
and guess what?
differently.
Three-quarters of the people can't even read and write. We are investing in the wrong. Listen to me, and I'm saying this, Paul, I agree with you. We can invest, you know, but we're not saying we don't want you to invest. But what I'm saying is there's a time. Let us fix and heal what needs to be done first before we can start to invest. You see, had we had cut back on certain things after that COVID, you see, if we had stuck to that plan and followed through with things from previous to now, we could have started having a jazz festival from this year, where I can guarantee you a lot more people would have supported.
Well, we have a problem. We have a problem now. We have a health problem
But how?
now
But
with
we're not
COVID-19.
building our people. Yes, after the COVID and everything, what I'm saying, we could have still taken a year before we pumped money into those things.
Should be still pumping money into the people.
That's where we had to do. We had to heal as a people and make sure our people were taken care of first.
That's right.
And this is not how you take care of our people.
2021 came, right? Yes, they won the election. However, have they done anything in terms of healthcare, in terms of investment for creating long-term jobs? Instead of doing anything, they stopped all the contracts that were happening that created some long-term jobs for people. Instead of looking at investing in our port of Castries, where we are highly capable of giving it a facelift, we are. Jasper is in a position to do it. The Super Foundation is in a position to give Super Port a facelift. You would sell our port for 30 to 40 years. You're costing us over $1 billion in revenue. because you are too lazy to get up and do some work. And if we were doing our own port infrastructure, wouldn't that create jobs for people that are sustainable?
Of course. Well, we need a recommendation, Garfield, of accountability in this sleeping government.
Well, they will find out very
We
soon
need to wake
because
them.
the people,
We need an
the people
accountability.
are no longer sleeping, and they're
That's
on to them. But
accountability.
we gotta go. I have to go do some homework with my daughter. My
All
honorable,
right, and I have been on the phone. So thank you guys. Have a good
and
night.
thank
Thank
you,
you.
my friend, for calling. Really
Thank you
appreciate
for
you.
calling.
Yes, Vivita. So we got to go now, but let me just remind
You're
the folks
welcome.
that tomorrow is going to be the press conference of the United Workers' Party, and that is at 10 a.m. It's going to be on GVD TV and United Workers' Party Facebook page and on YouTube. So please tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. for a special press conference to deal with the Soufriere Foundation and other constituency matters, draft tax amendment bill, and the escalating crime in the country. Tune in. We will make an announcement on the Honorable Alan Chasney after this press conference. All right, folks? And don't forget, COVID-19 is on the rise again in St. Lucia. The authorities are
Hey, there's
sounding the
leprosy,
alarm.
you know. I
Leprosy
heard
too?
a new
2 months.
It is?
leprosy.
Leprosy too.
Visits to the emergency departments and the wellness center.
Okay, so let's
This
listen.
is particularly the case for children less than 5 years of age. On a global level, in January 2024, the World Health Organization Director General indicated that in December 2023, there was a 42% increase in COVID-19 hospitalizations and a 62% increase in ICU admissions compared to the previous month. Nationally, in addition to COVID-19, the epidemiology unit at the Ministry of Health has recorded an increase in confirmed cases of respiratory syncytial virus and also influenza for the period October 8th to December 2023. Similar trends were detected globally, mainly in parts of Europe, Central Asia, and North America due to the changes in the temperate Northern Hemisphere. On January 17, 2024, the Ministry of Health received laboratory results from the Caribbean Public Health Agency confirming the presence of the Omicron variant HV1 in samples submitted by the National
So in other words, St. Lucia, watch your bread, be careful, watch your health, watch everything, because everything seems to be just out of control. You don't have proper health system,
We're in a
guard
warfare
yourself.
right
Period.
now.
Yes, it is.
But let me tell you something, Garfield. Before you leave, I will say this much. You are somebody who is, with the holistic, the spiritual part of things. We in a warfare,
That's it.
And you see all of these things that they come in with these COVIDs and things. Say, Lucia, let me tell you something. That's just to instill fear in our people. Because let's be honest, oppression comes in different ways. Okay? Now she's coming, so Hedis, why have we have all of this they're talking about there? Why nobody are wearing mask in the place?
Yep.
Look, I hear we have an outbreak of leprosy. Leprosy is supposed to be contagious, and
And
leprosy, I
also
read about these
AIDS.
things in the
Yeah.
Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is there right now, we are in a humanitarian crisis because if you're having an outbreak of leprosy, you have an outbreak of COVID that's coming. That's a combination of some deadly things which you instill in more fear into the people.
And we,
So what are we doing as a people to combat that? Because by telling us what you read in statistics from overseas, this what is happening here, and then yet still we have cruise ship passengers. We identified the root of where this leprosy and this what brought on the increase?
Yep.
We you're not telling us what brought on the increase. You're not telling us what it is we ought to be aware of. So what are we doing?
Yep.
But on that note, St. Lucia, the boss had to go and do the homework. So we send in peace and love. I'm going to end this one for you tonight, boss, because you've been working so hard. So ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you so much for always tuning in. Of course, we would have loved to have the boss himself, Mr. Honorable Alan Chasney, here with us. So we are working on it. We send you out with waves of love, peace, unity as the people, knowing that we are working with the confinements of the Constitution, my people. so that we can bring y'all what it is that y'all need. Prosperity. So Garfield, if there is anything else, we say good night. We wish everybody a safe and restful night. Tomorrow a productive day, and we look forward again at 8 o'clock to bringing you all the news and the details. So we're going to sip some tea tomorrow, St. Lucia. Have a wonderful evening.
Signing out. See you, folks. Blessings. Have a good night.